Good morning, Private Hire Guy here, PHG. I wanted to make a little video just to let people know about a protest that is taking place this coming Tuesday, the 22nd, at the Bolt offices in Chiswick in West London. They are just off Power Road, and the reason I think this is important is it's being organised by the ADCU, which is the App for Courier and Drivers Union, App and Courier Drivers Union, and they are the union that were responsible for getting Uber and representing the two guys who took Uber to court, and ultimately winning the cases and ending up with the victory in the Supreme Court, UK Supreme Court, that gave us as Uber drivers more rights. So we have holiday pay, we have sick pay, we have minimum wage if the job hasn't given you that, which has never happened to me, but also in there is pension contributions. So it's a nice little package that Uber now have to pay out, and it also effectively brings down the commission rate. So Uber take 25% of any job. Allegedly, that's a story for a whole new video, but 25%. But now with the holiday pay and sick pay and what have you that's being paid back to us, it brings that effective rate down to about 17%, give or take. So that's a really good thing. So the ADCU have tried to engage with Bolt, and Bolt are blanking them from what I can gather. So the ADCU have organised this protest. It's being done officially, and with the permission and consent and knowledge of the Metropolitan Police. So there is allowed to be a blockade at Bolt's offices. And there's my dog, sorry about that. And I think it's really important that everyone goes to this, and not only drivers, but also any friends or family or anyone you can get, to turn up and attend this protest, because if Bolt aren't going to engage with a union to ultimately give us more rights, then I think we should absolutely invoke our right to protest and make our voices heard. The ADCU are going to organise. It's this Tuesday, the 22nd of June. It's between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. It's Power Road in Chiswick. If I can work out how to do it, I will put a link to the location for Google Maps or whatever, or just the basic address so that people can get there. Parking can be a little hairy in Power Road. It's a very busy business location, so it's just off of Chiswick Roundabout, for those of you who know that, and it kind of goes round in a loop. It goes from the North Circular, the A406, where it comes down to Chiswick Roundabout. You can get to it that end, and then it just goes round at a right angle, 90 degrees kind of thing, and comes out on Chiswick High Road behind what I think might be a Honda or Volvo garage. So just to give you an idea, Bolt's offices is off of Power Road, so you drive along Power Road, and it's not very well signposted. There's a security barrier that in theory you have to buzz to be, get let in if you want to drive in, and then you drive into a car park, which I think they share with the other companies that are in that area. And Bolt have some specific car park spaces on the back end, but essentially, I don't think the plan is to park there. We'll find elsewhere to park. I believe there's a B&Q, I think, on Chiswick Roundabout that allows up to 2 hours of parking, and the ADCU are going to have marshals there to answer questions, and I think they're also supplying some food and drinks and snacks and stuff. So I think as a private hire driver, an app driver, call us what you like, an Uber driver, whatever, I think it's really worth joining this union. They've got success. They've got a good track record, against gig economy, against certainly Uber, who are, I guess, arguably the biggest. So, and I've always thought, I think I've said in one of my previous videos, I think it's only a matter, or I thought it was only a matter of time after the Uber decision that somebody gets Bolt and Ola into court, for the same workers' rights, holiday pay, sick pay, pension, minimum wage, and uses the Uber case as precedent. So I'm not a lawyer, but that seems like a fairly kind of straightforward no-brainer. Bolt would, and Ola as well, which I guess is the other big app in London, as well as Free Now, which used to be Captain with a K. They just take a cut, treat us as subcontractors, so we get no rights, and they can do what they like in terms of just disconnecting you from the app, and so they control everything in the same way that Uber do. So actually, for my money, there's not much difference between Uber losing a court case and being made to pay the various payments that they do, and Bolt and Ola having to follow suit. Now, the big question for Bolt and Ola, if they were to lose, which I think they would, but again, I'm not a lawyer, the big question for Bolt and Ola is, could they sustain their business if they have to pay out more cash to drivers? So there's less of a cut for them and less of a cut for the shareholders, who'll be the main people wringing their hands. As it stands, Bolt and Ola take 15% of the ride fare. If you have an electric car, Bolt, I believe, Bolt and Ola, I think, are both 10% at the moment, or period, I should say. So, the Uber deal effectively brings their commission down from a 25% cut down to about 17%. So it brings it down effectively by that much, 8% or so. But if Bolt and Ola, if everyone had an electric car and Bolt and Ola were taking 10% commission, if they then have to pay pensions and holiday pay, etc., I don't see how they're going to sustain that. Certainly they're going to have to put the prices up. But it will be interesting to see, how they sustain that. Now, I wouldn't want to see them go out of business. I wouldn't want to see people lose their jobs. And I'm absolutely all for Uber having competition, because without the competition of Bolt and Ola, Uber will ride roughshod over, passengers and drivers in the gig economy. So it's absolutely essential for me that Bolt and Ola, survive and do well. Just to remind Uber that they can't just do what they like. There is competition out there. So it's certainly going to be an interesting, period ahead with the ADCU now having set their sights on Bolt. And I think it would be safe to assume maybe Ola in the longer term and Free Now, which can only be, good news for gig economy drivers, like me and hopefully you. The flip side is ultimately, I think, payments are going to go up. Customers are going to end up paying more. The shareholders aren't going to take the hit. They're going to just go, no, I expect my money to return at the same rate that I invested at, blah, blah, blah. And so therefore they'll have to pass that on to customers. So, whereas customers might have paid, I don't know, £10 to get from, A to B in London or wherever, that's going to go up to maybe £14. So, those rates can cover the costs, which, again, I don't think is a bad thing. I think people need to, and I think people are pretty much prepared to pay for a decent service. There is an old adage of, you get what you pay for. And I think people are beginning to realise how badly app drivers are treated and paid by these, behemoth corporations, and they're supportive of it. They are supportive of drivers getting better rates and pay and benefits, even if it ends up costing them more, as a passenger. I certainly don't have a problem with it. As a passenger, it's just right. So the long and short of this is that I am making this video to highlight the fact that there is this Bolt protest organised by the ADCU, the App Drivers and Couriers Union, who are the union that successfully helped get Uber into court and win their case against Uber to give us the rights that we now have, financially. So, I'm absolutely going to go and support it. I think it's absolutely the right thing to do. Part of the protest, and I'll see if I can work out how to insert a still picture into this video. I'll put the still in from the ADCU, which sort of gives the details of the protest. And the other thing is, they're asking people to do is not to work for Bolt for 24 hours on the Tuesday, to send that message that drivers are, aren't expendable, and, they should be listened to, and companies, like Bolt, that should engage. It's the right way to do things. It's just not all about coming up with a business model that supposedly disrupts the current, taxi setup. And just giving it all to the shareholders, under the guise that there's some big funky startup, and look what we can do. And because there's no real precedent, there's no history to this, because app rides are pretty new. Apologies again. App rides are pretty new, so there's no historic way of doing things. It's always been black cabs or your local mini cab office. So I fully support this. Sorry, my monitor went off. I fully support the protest. I plan to be there. I plan to not work for Bolt for that 24 hours because I think it sends the right message, and I want to support the ADCU in any way I can. So I'll leave a link down in the description to the ADCU's website. And if I can, a direct link to the protest, and if I'm clever enough, I will work out how to put a still somewhere in this video, like maybe here or here, I don't know, of the actual the page that they are sharing on social media and stuff, which gives the details and the times, and don't work for Bolt for 24 hours, etc. So that's it. That's my video in support of the ADCU's Bolt protest. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when I do my next video, and it will also help and tell YouTube that they think the video is useful and that other people should see it. That's it. That's bye for me from now, and hopefully if you've seen this and you're going to come on Tuesday, I'll see you there.